Hello BookTube, my name is Sarah, and today I'm coming to you with part 2 of my September 2017 book haul. So let's jump right in and get started because I have 15 books to talk about. So this first book, what I did, I have the Let's Read Too Many Books spreadsheet. I don't know how many of you actually have that. I've been doing it for the past couple of years and I absolutely love it. And this year, I think it's Rich who created this. He has a BookTube channel. It's a spreadsheet that's on Google Docs. And he created a tab for series. So you can list, the series name, and then as you read books in it, you can, mark off that you've read it. It tells you how far through the series you are. And you can put, what the next book is and if you own it. And if you own it, it highlights it in green. And if you don't own it, it doesn't highlight it. So I've been kind of going through that and looking and grabbing books in the series, like the next book in a series that I don't have. Because I'm not one who's going to look at that and then hunt down the book for something to read. I always go to my TBR first on Goodreads. So my TBR on Goodreads, for those of you who don't know, that to be read are books I own. If I don't own it, it doesn't go on that bookshelf, if you will. So if I don't own it, there's very little chance I'm actually going to look to go ahead and read the next book in a series. So I've been trying to grab some of them, and I started with the Harlequin ones because I have so many Harlequin points that I can just essentially grab them for free. So the first one is Sheltered by the Millionaire, and this is the second book in the Texas Cattlemen's Club After the Storm series. This is a series that, the very first book, a tornado rips through this small Texas town, and this is the aftermath. So these 6 stories are the aftermath. And like I said, this is just the second one in the series. I read the first one earlier this year, so I am looking forward to eventually getting to this one. So the next 2 books I'm going to talk about are actually audiobooks, and I wanted to very quickly mention something for any of my Canadian friends that are currently watching this video. Audible has always been available to Canadians. Audible.com, you can go on and, buy audiobooks. Everything was charged in US pricing and whatever. Well, a couple weeks ago, I went on Amazon, Amazon.ca, which is always where I go to look at books, and there was a banner right across the front, and it said, now Audible in Canada, and I'm like, well, we've always kind of been able to use Audible. Well, now they have Audible.ca for Canadians, and the cool thing was that they were offering new subscribers 2 free audiobooks. So if you signed up to join, you got 2 free audiobooks, which is super duper exciting. And of course you can cancel at any time and keep those 2 audiobooks. So I thought, well, I like free audiobooks. So I went on and I signed up, and I was able to, even though I had an account with audible.com. It's audible.ca and audible.com don't seem to mesh together. Like, I can't look at my library. I guess they haven't maybe gotten to there yet. That would be kind of nice, but at this point it doesn't. On the app, you can switch back and forth from the Canadian site to the US site rather seamlessly, so there's no big issue there. And besides, it's not something you're going to be doing very often. But saying all that, the very cool thing is that audible.com, when you signed up, it's $14.95 a month for 1 credit. And, it's a little pricey, and, especially for us Canadians, with the fact that the way our dollar trades with the US dollar, when I had a membership, that $14.95 or $15 membership every month US could end up being, $16, $17, $18, $19 Canadian once you did the conversion. And, that kind of, it goes from $15 to $20. That's a big jump. So what the cool thing is with audible.ca is that membership is $14.95 Canadian every month. So it's the same price, it's just in Canadian dollars as opposed to US dollars, which is super duper exciting. So I actually elected to keep my membership. I'm going to keep it for a few months and see if I like it, see if I'm actually using it, because a lot of the books I buy on Audible, I already own the ebook, so I'm already getting it at a reduced price. But there are certain books like these 2 I'm about to mention that I got for free because I signed up, that I really wanted anyway. So without further ado, the first audiobook is Voyager by Gabaldon. This is book 3 in the Outlander series. Of course, you guys are all familiar with this series, I'm sure. A 43-hour-long audiobook for free? Yes, please. I couldn't say no. The next book I actually got is called The Truth Is Out There, and it's an anthology, an X-Files anthology, and it's edited by Jonathan Maberry. Voyager is narrated by Davina Porter, who needs no introduction because she is fabulous. So yes, The Truth Is Out There by Jonathan Maberry. It's an X-Files anthology. I think there's like 15 different short stories in this, and they're all by different authors. I read the first collection, which was called Trust No One, I think the first one was called. And then this one is The Truth Is Out There. But yeah, it's narrated by Bronson P. Shue. I think that's how you say his name. For those of you who might be of a certain age, around my age, and you remember the television show Perfect Strangers, about the two cousins, and the one is from this foreign country, he's the guy who played the cousin from the foreign country. But if you listen to him narrate, you would have no idea. The woman who narrates Scully's voice, essentially, he does Mulder's voice, is Hillary, I want to say Hubbard is her last name. If I'm wrong, I'll put it right here. Sorry, I didn't write that down. But yeah, so I grabbed that one as well, because like I said, I really enjoyed the first one, so I'm really looking forward to listening to this one. The next few books I got on sale. I had them on my wish list on the Kindle on Amazon. And as per usual, I, check about once a week, and I look to see if there were any price drops on any books. And these 3 books had significant price drops, so I decided to pick them up. And the first one is The Cottage at Firefly Lake by Jen Gilroy. I believe this is the first book in the Firefly Lake. It is the first book in the Firefly Lake series. This is a contemporary romance series. It looked really cute. It's an author I'm not familiar with, and I think it was like $1, so I decided to pick it up and give it a try. The second one is called North to You by Tif. I think it's Marcelo is how you pronounce her last name. Marcelino, maybe? This is the first book in the Journey to the Heart series. It is, I think it's a new adult series, and it's about the relationship. I think she is, a food truck chef and her long-lost army love clash when they cross paths in San Francisco. It sounds really, really cute. So, again, it was really relatively inexpensive, so I decided to pick it up. The next one sounds really interesting to me, and it dropped down to 99 cents, and I thought, okay, I definitely want to try this one. And it's called Serving Crazy with Curry, and I apologize, I'm going to say the author's name wrong. It's Amulya Malladia, I think? Malladia? Sorry. It's about a woman who, it says, she's unemployed and unmarried. And she loses both her job and her baby. I don't know how that happens. And it says here she's got nothing left to lose, so she tries to take her own life. And I guess she isn't successful in it, and then her parents or her mother takes her in. And to cope with this stress and the depression and things like that, she begins cooking. And that kind of starts to bring her out of her shell. It sounded really good, and again, I think it was down to 99 cents. And a little bit different than what I typically read, but you guys know me, I like to read a whole host of different things. This one sounded good, so I decided to give it a shot. So the next book that I got, I absolutely blame the Smart Bitches Trashy Books podcast that I listen to on Podcast Addict in the mornings when I'm getting ready for work. That's when I listen to my audio podcasts. And I absolutely blame this one. I'm still on Maze, like I'm a little behind in my podcast listening. And they were at the RT convention. If you're not familiar with that, it's the Romantic Times Book Convention. It's essentially a convention for romance novels. I need to go to this thing. I really want to go to this thing. It's on my wish list. But she did a number of episodes where they were like from the hotel room or from like a big gathering that they were having of people, and it's literally just a discussion back and forth, and it was fantastic. Well, somebody in the crowd, I guess, mentioned this book, and the author happened to be there. And this is her debut novel, and it's called The Bad Luck Bride, and it's by Janna MacGregor. It's the Caversham Heiress series, book number 1. So I decided to pick it up, and it's essentially about a woman who has had 3 failed engagements, and essentially, I guess, society is picturing her as bad luck, and she's having a hard time finding someone suitable to marry. It sounded adorable, and the fact that the author was talking about her own book on this podcast, really made me want to pick it up. And she's a relative unknown. This is her first book. So I think she said that she's like a lawyer in her real life. And like, do you know what I mean? Like the author that's her job as a lawyer, and she writes on the side. It's so super awesome. But anyway, I had to pick this one up and give it a shot. The next 2 books are part of the same series, and they're both novellas. And I just happened to come across them. And I think I have the first or second book in this series. So I thought, the novellas, I think that they were on sale or something, so I decided to pick them up. And the first one is A Candy Cane Christmas, and this is by Laura Trentham. and it is book 3.5 in the Cotton Bloom series. Again, this is a contemporary romance series. This one obviously takes place at Christmas time. The second one is also a novella, sorry for shaking the camera, is also a novella. It's Light Up the Night, and it's book 3.75 in the Cotton Bloom series. And I think it's about like a college professor and a free thinker, so like a very much an odd couple. So again, it would be A Candy Cane Christmas, and then this one, and then book number 4 in the series. So these two books would come between books 3 and 4 in the series. So very excited to be able to pick them up. I'm always on the lookout for things like that. So as I was talking about at the very beginning of this video, I've been picking up some next books in series that I've read this year. And it's funny, I was just looking at this one, I'm like, when did I read the first one in this series? Oh, I read it back in March. Thank goodness for Goodreads. So the next one I picked up is Marriage Made in Shame by Sophia James. This is book number 2 in the Penniless Lords series. It's a Harlequin historical romance. Looks like it's going to be fun. I got it for nothing. Next up, again, the next book in a series is Recipe for Love by Darlene Panzera. This is book number 2 in the Cupcake series. What's the series called? Sorry. Bear with me here. The Cupcake Diaries. About a woman who essentially runs a cupcake shop and, you know, finding romance. So this one, I like the first one. It'll be nice to have the second one. The next one is Dancing in the Moonlight by RaeAnne Thayne. You guys know what a big fan of RaeAnne Thayne I am. She writes some amazing books. And this is her Cowboys of Coal Creek series. This is book number 2. And it's about a wounded war veteran, a woman, who lost her leg, I think, in Afghanistan, and she comes home, and she falls in love with the local doctor, who is the brother of the main character from the first book. So that one should be a lot of fun. And the next one, was this part of the series, or was this, sorry, I'm trying to remember why I bought these, not just because it's fun. Oh, okay, so on Friday, I needed to grab a book for my October TBR. I'll get to that when I get to my October TBR in a few videos. You guys will find out what that book was. But one of the questions was to read a book that was free, like either you get it from the library, you got it for free, or whatever. So I thought, well, on Fridays, Harlequin does the buy 3, get 1 free sale. So I thought, oh, let's buy some new books because it makes me happy. And it had been a really bad week at work. And sadly, it's not shaping up to get any better. So the other 3 books that I got, I'm going to tell you about. So the first one is Taking Home the Tycoon, and this is book number 8 in the Texas Cattlemen's Club, the Blackmail series. So I talked earlier about the Texas Cattlemen's Club After the Storm series. These are like sub-series within a bigger series, within an even bigger series, because it's a Harlequin Desire novel. I know, clear as mud, right? These are just, you know, really, really cute little love stories, and I just love the cover with the dog on it. I had to get it. Oh yes, one of the other books I got I'm actually also using for my October TBR, so I'm only mentioning this other book. And that is Breakup in a Small Town by Kristina Knight. This is a Harlequin super romance novel, and I have to admit what drew me in with this one wasn't just the cover, which is really, really pretty, but the title. Breakup in a Small Town is a song title by Sam Hunt, and I'm a huge country music fan, and I love Sam Hunt, and I love that song. And then when I read what the book was actually about, I thought, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. So it's actually about a couple who's already married. And they have 2 small children, and an accident takes place. And the husband's personality changes. I guess maybe he suffers from some sort of a head injury. Well, then the couple, I guess, like the wife is like, you're not the man that I married. And no matter what's happening, nothing's changing. So they end up, I guess, splitting up. And then it's about them finding each other again. I don't know. It just sounded really, really good. It's part of a series. I think it's book 3 in the series. And, sorry, just bear with me just a second here. The series is called Slippery Rock, which is the name of the small town. But I was looking at the other books in the series, and the first book is called Famous in a Small Town, which is a Miranda Lambert song. I don't think she did that on purpose. It just so happens to work out that way, because book number 2 is called Rebel in a Small Town, and I'm not familiar with any songs with that title. But, regardless, yeah, so that's all the books that I bought. It's a lot, but most of them I got for free or on sale or something like that. You guys know me and how much I love my deals. And you'll notice not one Heather Graham book did I purchase. Good for me. The first step is admitting you have a problem. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below if any of these books are of interest to you, if you're going to go check them out or pick them up. As usual, I will leave links to all the books that I talked about in the description box below, as well as links to where you can find me on social media. So until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye.